All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. We're doing Science of Getting Rich, Chapter 5. And we did yesterday the principle of getting rich. There's an exact science, and that is thinking. Some powerful questions. Know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I'm just looking at the pages in the workbook that aren't in the book itself. This is the workbook that goes along with it that I acquired some 20 plus years ago when Bob was a personal mentor of mine and Michelle's, which is part of the program I offer. So here we go. Increasing Life. Chapter 5, Increasing Life. Do one more thing here real quick so that I can see more of what's going on. There we go. Outstanding. If you must get rid of you must get rid of the last vestige of the old idea that there is a deity whose will it is that you should be poor, or whose purpose may be served by keeping you in poverty. I don't want to be rich. I just want to help people. You must get rid of the last vestige of the old idea that there's a deity whose will it is that you should be poor, or whose purpose it is served by you by keeping you in poverty. God loves you and wants you to live an abundant life. Isn't everything else that is God's creation live abundantly? Every tree lives to its fullest extent. Every blade of grass is growing to be grass. Every bird sings to sing as a bird. Everything, right? Everything is operating from a level of abundance. There's I think it's a Cherokee Indian saying, I could be wrong. No two branches are ever foolish to fight amongst themselves for the light. If you look at just the branch of a tree and you see leaves grow there, and then they grow here, and then they grow there, they alternate. They live in abundance. So we too, created in God's creation, are designed to live in abundance. Any limitations that we put upon ourselves are not the will of the Creator. The intelligent substance, which is everything and lives in everything, lives in you. It is a consciously living substance. Being a consciously living substance, it must have the natural and inherent desire of every living intelligence for the increase of life. These are some big ideas, aren't they? Every living thing must continually seek for the enlargement of its life, because life, in the mere act of living, must increase itself. A seed dropped into the ground springs into activity, and the act of living produces 100 more seeds. Life, by living, multiplies itself. It is forever becoming more. If it is forever becoming more, it must do so to continue to exist. Intelligence is under the same necessity for continuous increase. Every thought we think makes it necessary for us to think another thought. This is why we can spiral up or we can spiral down. Intelligence is under the same necessity for continuous increase. Every thought we think makes it necessary for us to think another thought. Consciousness is continually expanding. Every fact we learn leads us to learning another fact. Knowledge is continually increasing. Every talent we cultivate brings to mind the desire to cultivate another talent. We are subject to the urge of life. In seeking expression for this urge, we are impelled to know more, to do more, to be more. In order to know more, to do more, to be more, we must have more. We must have things to use because we learn and do and become only by using things, ideas, thoughts, tools. We must get rich so that we can live more. The desire for riches is simply the capacity for larger life seeking fulfillment. Every desire is the effort of an unexpressed possibility to come into action. The desire for riches is simply the capacity for larger life seeking fulfillment. Every desire is the effort of an unexpressed possibility. A desire is an unexpressed possibility that can come into action. It is power seeking to manifest which causes desire. It is power. In one of his other books, Napoleon Hill talks about power as the idea of organized thought. It is power seeking to manifest which causes desire. That which makes you want more money is the same as that which makes the plant grow. It is life seeking fuller expression. The one living substance must be subject to this law for all of life. It is permeated with the desire to live more. That is why it is under the necessity of creating things. The one living substance, the thinking substance from which all things are made, that permeates and penetrates and fills the inner spaces of the universe. The one living substance must be subject to this law for all of life, seeking fuller expression. It is permeated with the desire to live more. That is why it is under the necessity of creating things, ideas, thoughts, new things. Because this substance desires to live more in you, because this substance desires to live more in you, it wants you to have all the things you can have. It is the desire of God that you should be rich. He wants you to get rich because he can express himself better through you if you have plenty of things to use in giving him expression. He can live more in you if you have unlimited command of the means of life. The universe desires you to have everything you want to have. Nature is friendly to your plan. I think that one is something many people miss. Nature is friendly to your plan. Why does this always happen to me? Your thought create your thing. Nature is friendly to your plans. Nature is not against you. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Nature is friendly to your plans. Everything is naturally for you. Make up your mind that this is true. That's a big shift. That a lot of people have to let go of some pretty big ego to say life is for me. It is essential, however, that your purpose should harmonize with the purpose that is in everything. This is how earlier in the book he says blockheads get rich and savers can become poor. It's not about doing certain things, it's about doing them in a certain way. You must want real life, not mere pleasure or sensual gratification. Life is the performance of function, and nobler than extreme selfishness. Both are mistakes. Get rid of the idea that God wants you to sacrifice for others, that you can secure his favor by doing so. God requires nothing of the kind. Remember, Wallace was a preacher. That's why this sneaks in here. That's why that is said in here. What he wants is that you should make the most of yourself, for yourself and for others. And you can help others more by making the most of yourself than in any other way. Some of us give, and we give from an empty truck. Our wagon is empty. And when they need more, we have no more to give. We have to go build it back. What if you built you from the very beginning and took care of you so that you can help others? You can make the most of yourself only by getting rich. Thus, it is right and praiseworthy that you should give your first and best thought to the work of acquiring wealth. Remember, however, that the desire of substance is for all. Its movements must be for more life to all. There's a chapter in here called The Increasing Man. I think it's 14. It cannot be made to work for less life to any, because it is seeking riches and life in everything and in everyone. Remember, however, that the desire for substance is for all. Its movements must be for more life to all. It cannot be made to work for less life to any, because it is seeking riches in life in everything and in everyone. The thinking substance can't be used for lack. You can hold a thought in it and it'll produce lack, but that's your choosing. It by design is for your advancement. You must get rid of the thought of competition. Why am I struggling? There is no struggle. You create it. You make it so. Tough stuff. You must get rid of the thought of competition. You are to create, not to compete for what is already created. You do not have to take anything away from anyone. You do not have to drive sharp bargains. You do not have to cheat or take advantage. You do not need to let any person work for you for less than he earns. You do not have to covet the property of others or to look at it with wishful eyes. No one has anything of which you cannot have the same. No one has anything of which you cannot have the same. And you can have it without taking what he has away from him. Good stuff, Wallace. You are to become a creator, not a competitor. You will become a creator by employing the higher faculties in which you have been endowed. Here they are in bold text: perception, reason, will, memory, imagination, and intuition. No other form of life was given these creative faculties: perception, reason, will, memory, imagination, and intuition. You are going to get what you want, but in such a way that when you get it, every other person will have more than he has now. Can you grasp the idea that as you have more, others will have more? Doesn't say only the people you love will have more. It says even the enemies will have more. All will have more. And that in and of itself seems to be a limiting factor for so many. They're looking to take away what others have so they can have more, so they can have revenge, so that they can have validation. No other form of life was given these creative faculties. You are going to get what you want in such a way that when you get it, every other person will have more than he has now. I'm aware that there are people who acquire a vast amount of money by proceeding in direct opposition to the directions in this paragraph. Those of the plutocratic type who become very rich, sometimes doing so purely through their extraordinary ability on the plane of competition. However, sometimes, for example, in their contribution to the growth of industry, they unconsciously harmonize with substance in the movement toward the betterment of humanity. Rockefeller, Carnegie, Morgan, etc., have been the unconscious agents of the supreme power in the necessary work of systematizing and organizing productive industry. Their work has contributed immensely toward the increase of life for all. They helped to organize production and were soon succeeded by the agents of the multitude who organized the machinery for distribution. The multimillionaires are like the monster reptiles of the prehistoric eras. They play a necessary part in the evolutionary process, but in the same power which produced them will dispose of them. And it is well to bear in mind that they have never been really rich. A record of the private lives of most of this class will show that they have really been the most subject and wretched of the poor. Riches secured on the competition plane are never satisfactory or permanent. They are yours today and another's tomorrow. Remember, if you are to become rich in the scientific and certain way, you must rise entirely out of the competitive thought. You must never think for a moment that the supply is limited. You drop into the competitive mind the moment you begin to think that all money is being cornered or controlled by bankers or others, and that you must exert yourself to get laws passed to stop this process. Your power to cause creation will temporarily disappear. And what is worse, you will probably arrest the creative movements you have already instituted. Your power to cause creation will temporarily disappear. And what is worse, you will probably arrest the creative movements you've already instituted. When you go into the competitive mind, you've been working, you've been writing out your DMP, you've been doing your daily affirmations, you've been doing your meditation, you've been doing your chakras, you've been doing all of the things that serve you well and begin to move. And then something shows up in your awareness and you go into the creative. You go into the competition, the competitive. Why do they get it? I should get that. When's it going to be my turn? You instantly arrest your movements. You stop your movements forward in the creative plane. And what's worse, you can undo the movements you've already done, which is why when you come back to your creative mind, you can advance rapidly back to where you were. This is why you hear people say, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm doing this over and over and over. The answer is you are. We have to become fully aware at what moment do we arrest our creative capabilities? What is the thing that is dropping us out of the creative plane and into the competitive plane? Know that there are countless millions of dollars worth of undiscovered gold in the mountains of the earth. Know that if there were not, more would be created from the thinking substance to supply your needs. Know that the money you need will come, even if it is necessary for 1,000 people to be led to the discovery of new gold mines tomorrow. Never look at the visible supply, always look at the limitless riches in the formless substance, and know that they are coming to you as fast as you can receive and use them. So if you think about that, the limitless riches that are coming to you are available to you, and they'll come to you as fast as you can receive them. Your radio receiver, how fast can you receive the ideas, the thoughts, the state, the vibration And how fast can you use them? You may be ready for them, but you don't have any plan to put them to use. This is called playing it out. I teach playing it 7 levels deep. Dean Graziosi talks about the 7 levels of why. For those in the sales world, we've been teaching that for decades. To find somebody's deepest why that gets them through the challenging time, that keeps them from dropping into the competitive plane to stay in the creative plane. Never look at the visible supply. Always look at the limitless. Always look at the limitless riches in the formless substance and know that they are coming to you as fast as you can receive them and use them. Nobody, by concerning the visible supply, can prevent you from getting what is yours. Never allow yourself to think for an instant that all the best building spots have been taken before you get ready to build. Anticipation. Never allow yourself to think for an instant that all the best building spots will be taken before you get ready to build your house. Never worry about the trusts or the combines and get anxious for fear that they will soon own the whole earth. Never get afraid that you will lose what is you want because some other person beats you to it. That cannot possibly happen. You are not seeking anything that is possessed by anybody else. You are not seeking anything that is possessed by anybody else. Your dreams are yours. Your visions are yours. You are causing what you want to be created from the formless substance, and that supply is limitless. Live by this absolute truth. The mantra repeated. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing imagined by the thought. A person can form his thought, and by impressing his thought upon the formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. End of chapter 5. Why don't riches gained on the competitive plane cause happiness? How are you going to keep from falling into the competitive mind? An educated person is a person who has so developed the faculties of their mind that they can acquire anything they want or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. Napoleon Hill said that. So do you understand perception that you have? Do you understand the reason capabilities that you have, your ability to reason? Do you use your will to your advantage? Do you have memory of what works and what does not work? Can you use your imagination to help with your visualization? And do you have intuition to understand the value of what you're stepping into? So how riches come to you will be chapter 6. Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways. Good morning. Welcome to the science of getting rich.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka. Love the background.
I had to put something more noticeable this morning. I just felt like it. It seems so simple, but why isn't it that simple?
Well, there's something called neurobias. Our brain literally doesn't want to think about that stuff because we're taught, consciously and subconsciously, to think about new things detracts us from what's going on right now, and we could get hurt by what's going on right now. Now, it's not the case, but it's how we've trained our brain. Right? So there's something called cognitive bias, neurobias. There's this idea that we have the memory of our mind is more important than the creation of our mind. It is so simple. So the question then becomes, if it is so simple, who's the one that's deciding it's hard? It's not the one that knows it's simple. If it is simple, then take action on the simple. Don't say, but I don't, well, but why is it so hard for me? It's not hard if it's simple. We have to become aware of this duplicity that we are, this multi-personality that we are. And so if it's simple, what's a simple act? What's a simple awareness? I have to control my thoughts. If we look at evidence, how often yesterday did we become aware of our thoughts? Out of the, again, Queensland University out of Canada says we have 6,500 thoughts a day. Old research says we had 60 to 70,000 thoughts. Let's just say it's still let's say it's 6,000 thoughts a day. New research shows. So it's 6,000 thoughts a day. How many of those were you aware of yesterday? Here's the truth, whether it's 70,000 or 6,000, 80 to 90% are negative and not in our favor.
Yeah, I sometimes notice that when I think something negative, that I'm like, oh, why am I thinking that? I need to stop that.
Well, but the I, here's what you might serve you. The I that is thinking the negative thought is not the I that's aware of it. Let this settle in for just a second, because the negative thinking isn't negative thinking. It's only negative when the I who becomes aware of it, the version of you that becomes aware of it, identifies it as non-positive thinking. But it wasn't negative thinking. That was called pattern. So we get frustrated with the I of awareness. And every time the I of awareness becomes aware, we're like, oh, why am I doing that? You are not doing that. Go, oh, isn't that fascinating? Where did you come from? Because it's not the I that became aware. So we beat the I of awareness up, and therefore the I of awareness is like, every time I show you these things, you yell at me. I wasn't thinking them. Could you imagine if you were the kid in class that pointed out when everybody was cheating on their test and the teacher yelled at you every time you pointed it out? You'd screw this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So this is why the I of awareness turns into this little child and says, I can't take it anymore. And we wonder where the I goes that wants all the riches, where the I goes that wants all the peace, where the I goes that wants all the harmony. It keeps pointing out where you, the conscious awareness, keeps stumbling, and we beat it up. Oh, I'm so stupid thinking that. Why am I so stupid? The I that knows the stupid is not the stupid. And when we sit and let that settle into our system, you can become quite comical with the I that is the negative and the I that is the aware. Isn't that fascinating? Wow.
Yes.
How
very
cool.
Fascinating. And I get more confused as time goes on, because every time I think I'm doing something right, you're telling me no.
Oh, you are right. That is right. Here's better. Becoming aware is not wrong. There may be a better way. That's all this is a little bit better, a little bit better. The principle of Kaizen, better every day. So the I that says every time I do this, I'm getting wrong, isn't the one that wants more. It just showed up right there. And that's how fast it shows up beyond our control until, oh, every time I do this, I think I'm doing right. Then I realize I'm doing wrong. That is not the I that wants right, that wants more. The I that wants more is going to do things it's never done before. It probably will have to learn some new ways to do them. But the I that says every time I grow, I get more confused. No, you're not confused. The I that wants more is not confused.
No, that has never been confused, because that's always been there. I agree with you. I've always wanted more. Yes.
So then the part of you that says that and says, oh, but I think I don't think I never seem to grow. That's not the I that wants more. Go, isn't this fascinating? I am chipping away at this thing every single day, and I get to choose more every single day. In my awareness, I see where I can grow more, move more. That's all it, and that's how fast it shows up in our habitual patterns. Nothing wrong with that. Not a single thing wrong with that. Unless we continue to repeat it and say, I never seem to get it right. The I that wants more is willing to go through the learning process. What is right? What is wrong? It's all a frequency. It's the energy we give to something. If you've ever disciplined a child, I can promise you they thought it was wrong. We knew it was necessary for their betterment of their humanity. Everything has an opposite. And if you're so confused, like you said, the I of me that wants more is never confused. That's just inside of you in a 30-second conversation. I'm so confused, but the I that knows what I want and always wants more is never confused. Then who's in charge?
Good question. I mean, good question. I don't.
So you have a choice. Say, the I of more, the I that wants more will control, will direct.
I can do that.
And when you choose that, all of a sudden you feel a shift in your body. There's new neural pathways that created in your body, in your brain. It's called, and the old idea, something called neural pruning. They can literally set you up in an fMRI, a functional magnetic resonance imaging machine. And with an fMRI, they can have you focus on a particular goal, a particular thought, and you can literally watch this neural connection breaking away and dissolving. It's called neural pruning. And as we start to become aware, if you've ever pruned a tree or a plant, there's an easy way to prune a plant. You pick off the dead leaves. What most people are not aware of is what are the living leaves that are suckers that you need to take off to allow the plant to become strong. So we start off in personal development and we see all of the dead leaves on our ideas, on our thoughts. We go, that's easy. Clip, clip, clip. They're yellowed, right? Clip, clip, clip. Oh, wow. There's a lot of dead thoughts. Then we have this green plant. And because the dead leaves are gone, the yellow leaves are gone, we go, look at how beautiful my plant is. And somebody comes along, a horticulturist comes along and says, what are you going to do? You got to get rid of the suckers. And then they leave. That's what happens in social media. You got to get rid of the suckers. Then they leave. And you're like, what does a sucker look like? I don't. And you just start cutting because they of influence said, cut suckers. And you're like, I don't know what's a sucker. And you just start cutting stuff. And your idea, your dream dies. And you're like, wow, I must not be good. No, because nobody took the time to teach you what a sucker idea is. To help you become aware of the words that are sucking the life out of you, that are putting you in the competitive mode. The I that gets confused, or the I that thinks I'm not getting any better, is the competitive mind. And when you drop into the competitive, you lose all of the creative thoughts.
So it's competing with myself.
Yes. In my head. And that's the only person we ever have competition with. If somebody all of a sudden sponsored 15 new people and you're like, oh, I'm better than they are, you are competing with you. The I that is better is competing with the I that's choosing to not let you be better. Competition is never out there. It's always in here. Success is never out there. It's always in here.
So why, okay, so why is the I that's choosing that doesn't want me to be better? How, that's the I that needs to be fixed.
That's the I that needs to become aware of it. Has run habitually its pattern. Then you are now becoming aware of it, and it doesn't like it, and it fights back with physical pain. It fights back with you spilling crap on yourself. It fights back with breaking a nail. It fights back with somebody not attending an appointment. All to distract you from your creative capabilities.
Or I feel the resistance. I can literally feel the resistance.
So let's go. Where do you feel it in your body? Try to pinpoint it. Try to narrow it down to a handful of cells to a handful of inches in your body. Where exactly is the discomfort? Don't, it's everywhere. No, there's a,
Well, no, I'm not really so much in my body, but it's making excuses of that there's other things that are more important to do, but those are not the things that I need to do the things. I need to do the things that move me forward in this specific business.
exactly.
And that's where it's like resisting with all other kinds of things. And so then I run out of time to do.
So if you were to just close your eyes, how would you identify the energy that's resisting? Give it a name. Because it's not the Selka that wants more. Who's the one resisting? Give it a name. First name's the best name.
Lola.
So Lola. So Lola's resisting. What does Lola need? Ask her. Lola, what do you need from me?
Lola, what do you need from me? She says more attention.
Yes. So this is, do you know the bad child in school who the reason they're bad child in school is so their parents have to pick them up? That's the only time they get to spend time with them. So ask Lola, how can I give you attention? What's the best way for me to give you attention without you disabling my progress?
You want me to ask now?
Yeah, you can ask it quietly. Lola, what's the best way for Lola to receive attention from Silka so that she doesn't delay or postpone Silka's progress, but she gets her attention? What does she need?
And she needs me to believe in her.
And ask Lola a very educated question.
Okay.
Lola, if you're debilitating my success, why should I believe in you? Why should I believe in my lack?
She says because she doesn't want to be alone.
Ah. So ask her, invite her. Is it okay if you join me on the journey of success? Can we go on this journey together? You don't always have to be there. It may not make sense to you, but is it okay if you join me on the journey?
She's very excited and she says yes.
So how do you feel in your body now?
Relief.
Do you see where her eyes went to look up and to the right? That's staring into the future. Your body did that, Selka. You were like this, you were closed eyes talking to Lola. And I said, how does that make you feel? And you went like this. Congratulations. You now have somebody to have a dialogue with. Don't blame Lola, because now listen, how long has Lola been around helping you stub your toe on your way to success? Probably forever. At least you're forever, right? So do you think Lola's pretty good at creating a little bit of chaos in your life?
Yes.
And so now that you've invited her on this journey, what's Lola's primary reason in life? To create chaos. So when she creates chaos, say, Lola, remember you said you were going to join me on the journey. Don't go, she doesn't listen. She has a habit of creating chaos. Even though she's excited about joining you on this journey, a part of her pattern is chaos. Now you can ask her, Lola, we're about to go into a situation. I'm about to go make some calls to my people to invite people to take a look at my by design business. Lola, how could you help me not create chaos? How could you help me get energized to do this? And listen, and it'll probably be the first time Lola has ever been invited to offer positive reinforcement. Her whole existence, that whole energy frequency has always been negative: chaos, create challenge, delay, procrastination. She might even say, I don't have a clue how to be positive in this world. Oh, come on, Lola. Give me one idea, one small idea. Okay. Maybe listen to our favorite song before we get started. Yes. And you literally, I would encourage you to have this dialogue out loud, because out loud, you can only speak fast as you can speak 200 words a minute. There's some people who can speak wildly, crazily fast, but you can think up to 1,400 words a minute. So I would encourage you, all of you, to have your dialogues outside, out loud. And in doing so, having that out loud dialogue allows you to slow down your thoughts.
Wow. Wow. I mean, you have so much knowledge. I don't even know how you're storing. That might sound strange, but that kind of just popped in my head. It's like I'm like a little tiny baby who hears any of that for the very first time, and I'm trying to all sponge it in and keep it in my mind. I think that's yeah. So that's why I keep showing up, because that's what I've been looking for. So yeah. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are welcome, welcome, welcome. And the other thing that continues to allow Lola and you to come back to visit, this is something a mentor taught me. When you hear people speak and they give you this vast amount of information, some people, that is everything they have. They just gave you all they had. As you become more proficient in understanding human nature and understanding dialogue and conversation and give and take, you will become those individuals that there's certain topics already that exist in your world that when you speak, you can speak for them for days. They know it's still the tip of the iceberg. There's still so much more available. That's what draws people back to you. And this is what happens when you become very proficient, an expert, dare I say, in a very small area of your life. And one of the greatest areas that you can become proficient in is the ability to understand human nature, even at its most infinitesimal capability. Because you are in sales, transference of enthusiasm. It is critical we to understand that we live in this binary world: up, down, in, out, hot, cold. And everything we say has a retraction or an attraction. We either cause them to retract in fear and in doubt, or step forward into faith and courage. And as we begin to have our dialogues, and as we begin to settle into our awareness, and as you begin to tell your stories of progress, because no one can challenge you on your story of progress, people say, I want more of that. What you've been through, I want to avoid. So if you're not speaking in challenges that you've been through, your audience, there's nothing the audience can say is, I want to avoid that. If you keep talking about riches, 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 great, 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 there's nothing for them to say that causes them to say, well, I'm not good enough. When I get good enough, I'll get into their circle. What Waddles is saying is that we have the opportunity to think and grow rich, the science of getting rich, to do things in a certain way. And the certain way is, how do we invite people on our journey? Nobody wants to go through the pain we've been. They want to avoid the pain we've been in, which is the hero's journey. We always come back with the elixir. The challenge is that people are starting the hero's journey, refusing the call, going back, refusing the call. Then they finally decide to go through it, and they get halfway through thinking that they have the elixir. You got to go all the way through the hero's journey. And that's where most people struggle with their authenticity, is they never seem to make their way all the way through the hero's journey. And they come back going, I'm a champion. And you kind of know there's just something not real about all of that stuff. So have conversations with love Lola. Say, imagine Lola is your new best friend. Lola, I am so sorry I never got to meet you before. I'm so excited. You've been with me forever. And like Napoleon Hill said, you've kept me from some bad things and you've put me into some bad situations. Is it okay if we have an agreement that I'll look to you for counsel? Because you know the things that absolutely are not going to work in my life, but you've also created some chaos and some things that were going to work in my life. Can we agree that if they're going to work, we could work together on them? And if they're not going to work, you're going to tell me about it. And literally have that. I have those dialogues all the time with, mine happened to be Seamus before Seamus showed up, the dog Seamus. But this little leprechaun who runs around whacking me in the shin with a shillelagh. That's a whole nother story. Hey, Louise.
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
I'm outstanding.
It's like, what? There was a pause.
Yeah, I saw a note
Wonderful.
from somebody
Thank
I
you.
hadn't heard from in a long time. It was a great distraction.
I thank you, Silky. Guess who has had the same conversation and is very excited, Sean?
Oh, who's that?
That's Megan. Megan. Here's an awareness. This is very interesting because this morning, there was this tension, and I knew it was Megan. The one thing, I've never invited Megan to join me. I've always sent her to the upper level nosebleed section of the assembly room. Every time you were asking Silka, thank you, Silka, for engaging, about Lola and having a conversation with Lola, Megan's answer came to me. Megan was answering in her own, and then Lola would answer. It was like the two were connected. It was amazing. And one of the things was, I would love to do that with you, Louise. And I had to apologize for not inviting her. I was
yeah, but here's the other question. You can apologize, but were the both of you ready? How many of us, when it's time to reconcile some relationships we have, we're just not ready yet? Too soon.
Good point.
So wasn't this perfect timing? Don't feel bad about it. Go, oh my God.
It was, well, yeah. How interesting that little thought popped up, right?
Yeah.
Neither of us were ready.
Yep. How about now, though? Are you ready now?
And it was really interesting because I said, so Megan, what can we do together that would eliminate, make this a smoother transition, make this a better relationship and without chaos? And as soon it was simultaneously, she said, listen to your favorite song. And I thought, that's what I heard Silka say. I went, oh my gosh. It was, anyway, I feel like I've leaped over some sort of speed bump that was pretty high.
And here's the thing. All of us have the speed bumps, the roadblocks, the hurdles. And the only way we become aware of them is through dialogue. And we can ask because our mind does not want to limit us. It is protecting us. The brain looks for two things: How fast can I, will this kill me? And because we haven't given them space to know that this is not a place of death, this is a place of awareness, we assume any change is bad because we haven't had the dialogue. We haven't set the rules of our own mind. Will it kill me? Second thing is, how fast can I recognize the pattern? Emerson said the most difficult thing man or woman will ever do is the idea of sustained thought. To think and become aware of our thinking is doing a self-audit, finding out where the reason we're poor, where the reason we're mad, where the reason we're sad, where the reason we're happy, where the reason we're glad. We are the reason. And we have more evidence in the negative, in the outgoing, in the debit side than we do in the credit side. And that makes us the 4 stages. The fear of looking into our own self-introspection. When we become aware that we are the biggest culprit in our own debacle, the sadness comes in saying, I could have changed this 30 years ago. And you will get stuck in the sadness. You'll get stuck in the fear. Once you get through the fear, you'll become aware of the sadness. I could have done this a long time ago. Oh my gosh, how big of an idiot was I? You'll have all of that. I know because I went through it.
Yeah.
And then you can get stuck in the sadness until you realize you break through that and you go, new awareness. If I think it shows up. Oh my God, this is so amazing. When I have the pure thought of creation, of love, of joy, it instantly appears. I'll get a text. I'll get a phone call. Something will happen. Business will come in. There'll be money in my checking account. Oh my God, you won't believe what happened. And then when that happens, that becomes the new normal. There's the old Irish saying, may the best of your yesterdays be the worst of your tomorrows. That's what happens when we start to become aware of how much we can influence our day, our moment. In this moment, choose joy or misery. Choose joy or misery. In this moment, choose joy or misery. In this moment, choose joy or misery. We have to become aware of how we have been not choosing joy, not allowed to choose joy by our own thoughts, by our own personality. And that takes introspection. Oh, well, it can't be that easy. You're right. I'm rich, and it has nothing to do with money. The eye that says it can't be that easy is not the eye that knows it's that easy. It's addiction to approval. You mean, but if I have nothing to complain about, who am I? We literally don't have the language to speak joy about everything. I'll be talking with some people and they go, how do you always have, you just look at things completely different. No, completely different to what? It's the way when you come to me and ask me dialogue, I'm going to have a solution that probably is going to be different than yours, but it's always going to be consistent. I'm always going to have a different solution because I only stay in this world. It's not different. It's not odd. It's outstanding.
Indeed.
And when you elevate yourself to the outstanding, to the excellence, to the joy, to the peace, this is amazing. Imagine you taking a step and going, this is amazing. Take another step. Oh, this is amazing. And literally see how many steps you could take going, this is amazing, till your body goes, all right, shut up. Let's get on with life. You'll be amazed at how fast your body will shut you down. Your body, not your mind. All you're doing is saying, this is an amazing step.
And that is something that was quite new. What it was a month or so ago when we talked about the controlling the body takes control.
Yep.
And I hadn't thought of that, and I mean, yeah, I didn't know that at the time, and realizing it, it is it is an exercise. It definitely is.
We think working out is hard. Controlling your
Oh.
thoughts is 10 times harder.
Absolutely. And what was said in this chapter, as Waddles has said over and over already, is abundance is everywhere. We are creation just like everything around us, and there's abundance everywhere. It's not
We've done the exercise before, but if I told everybody on the call, if I said, take in the biggest, deepest breath you could ever possibly, take in every bit of air that's available to you right this second, I could still breathe. You can have all you want. I can have all I want too.
right.
It's abundance is apparently evident everywhere. And if you are going after something that somebody else has, you are in competition, not cooperation.
And where he said, and I can't see it right here, right now, but my idea is my idea. It's not anybody else's. That was very freeing.
Yeah, nobody's going after your idea. They're going after theirs, and it's completely different than yours. I want a red car. I want a red car. Yeah, but mine has white trim on the left. Oh, yeah, but I don't want that. So yours is completely different. There's an abundance of what it is that you want.
Right. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Sean.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous? Okie dokie. Allow yourself to think about increasing. Ask, what would be more in this situation? What would be more? And see what shows up. Well, it could be worse. Okay, so negative shows up. Just become aware. Because your reticular activation system was formed by your reticular formation system. So what you see, right? Are you a half full or half empty cup? What you see is based upon the formula you were taught to see. Doesn't mean the formula is right or wrong. It's just become aware of the formula. Probably you didn't do it. I'm going to guess 95% of what we believe was given to us by somebody else. There's no infant who's crying in the bassinet is a racist. There's no 1-year-old that thinks they're rich or thinks they're poor. How many of us, as we grew up, have heard people tell stories? Maybe you've told the story. Didn't know we were poor. You didn't know you were poor. Mom and dad sometimes struggled. They argued, but we didn't know we were poor. Until, right? You don't know these things until you live in comparison. You don't know that your mother's an alcoholic and that's not how every kid lives. You're like, I wonder why they don't experience the same pain I do. Doesn't every mom drink? You got to think that when you're a child. Because your world is your world and your world is all your world. So if your mom drinks, you got to think, I guess everybody else's moms drinks. But you were taught it was so embarrassing, you never asked your friends, does your mom drink? Such a stigma around it. Then you realize not everybody's mom's drinks. And then they label it codependency. I wasn't codependent growing up. My mom drank. Okay. What do you do? I still had to go feed the cows and feed the dogs and ride my bike and cut the grass. That was just the world I lived in. When we expand our world and realize, oh my gosh, the challenge is too many people will inform you about the world you lived in and feel so sorry for you. Oh, I'm so sorry you lived that life. That's too bad. Oh, and they make you feel bad that you you had some pain in that life. You had what you had. Could have been worse. Could have been better. It is what it was.
You're so very right. I remember when I moved here, and coming from Germany, almost everyone travels and has a passport.
Yep.
And here, I came here, I was 20 years old, and I met people that told me they didn't have a passport. I was like blown away. I had a passport since I was a little girl. I'm like, oh my God, you don't have a passport. Don't you travel? And they're like looking at me. Well, no, I live in California. I have the beach, I have the mountains. I don't need to go anywhere. I have the desert. I can go to Mexico without, with just my license. Yeah. So I get exactly what you're saying, because the world I came from, that's all I knew. Uh, so yeah, that was, I still think about that, because it was like, it really blew my mind. So yeah,
Well,
that
and the other thing that the
is so true.
states
So true.
is very challenged with is that I can go from here to Texas and there's no border crossing. Well, I go from Slovenia to Italy, it's a border crossing.
Well, it used to be, not anymore.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but when I was there, it was still a border crossing. And that's within my lifetime where you had to show your passport. You
Yeah,
had
I
to,
even it was in my lifetime. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
I
when you
remember
come to
when
the
I was a little
States,
girl. Yeah.
when you come to the States, they're not used to every time they still had to show their license, right? They traveled, but less. Now, I don't know, the statistics probably gone up dramatically, but less than 5% of the population travels outside the United States of US citizens.
Yeah, it's more now a little bit, and
Okay, so let's say it's 10%. So you got a 90% chance when you talk about travel, they're only going to ever dream about traveling. And they think if they've never traveled, what's the first thing they think about travel?
do I
It's
have to leave
expensive.
the country? It's expensive, but they also ask, do I have to leave the country, or do you have any trips in the country? And like, yeah,
Right.
no, we have trips in the country too. But yeah, I mean, it's so right when you're saying that. We only know what we know. That's why I think traveling is like amazing for you to learn. It's such a huge learning experience. You learn the history, you learn how other people live, you meet, you meet other people that are different, that look different, and that do things different. So yes, I mean, yeah.
So you might do some investigative work and you might start inquiring on some of your posts. What trip do you think you would love to learn the most on? Would you like to go learn about culture? Would you like to go learn about food? Would you like to go learn about what are the different things you learned about? And ask people where would they go if they had to pick a place to go learn or experience the culture. What culture would they love to go experience most? You might get a lot of people say, I'd love to go to Dubai, and it's just absolute richness.
We have many trips to Dubai
Yeah, I
right now.
know.
And I was just thinking when you said that, we have just two new trips that came up just now to Istanbul and one to Machu Picchu. How would you do that? I mean, yes, I'm asking them, but some people may not even think that they want to go there until they hear it. I mean, Machu Picchu has been on my list for a long time, so I'm definitely
So
going.
there's a train in Machu Picchu, right?
There's a train.
There's a train to Machu Picchu. So
I
th-
don't know that. No,
so
I don't know.
so go Google it. It's much like the Orient Express. It's that for those that know Machu Picchu or those that know the depth of Machu Picchu, because I met the owner of the train. I was doing some work in Peru, and I met with him for breakfast one morning. We're talking about how we could do things together. Nothing ever really materialized, but there's a train that can take you to Machu Picchu all the way to the elevation, and it's a very it's the word I'm looking for, exclusive experience.
Mm.
So you could ask people when you show Machu Picchu, they always think of the people in the bowler hats, right? The Peruvians in the bowler hats and the llamas and this, that, or the other. If you had a trip to Machu Picchu, if you were awarded a trip to Machu Picchu, what would excite you most?
But it's not awarded.
Why are you underselling this?
I mean, it's
Listen, hang on. It is an awarded. If they go to Machu Picchu, somebody had to pay them to go on the trip, either their own efforts. Tell your best truth. No, it's not an awarded trip. They got to go pay for it. But somebody's got to pay for it. I'd rather not use my money. Your business model can show them how not to use their own money if they leverage the business model. Machu Picchu is free.
I see what you're saying. When you say awarded, I always think that you are thinking.
I know, no, it's how you're thinking. I'm never thinking that way.
No, but it's like you have.
It's not an incentive trip. I know it's
or something to get a free trip.
It's not an incentive trip. I said if
yes,
you
an
were
incentive
awarded.
trip. But every time you say awarded, that's what pops in my mind, and then I think you and I are not on the same page.
I know, but I'm never thinking that. I know people have to go to work.
Okay.
Even an incentive trip, you got to go bust your butt.
Yeah. Yes. But some people don't want to do that. They just
right.
Want to be
so I want
they
people
just want to, be a customer and pay every month and get their star and then get the.
Yeah, but see, you're assuming way too much. Let people raise their hand and go, how do I get the free trip? Well, you got to go do the work.
But it's not a free trip.
It is a free trip. Why are you arguing this point?
I don't see it.
It's always a free trip. When you pay for it and it's done, you've already paid for it. It's free. At some point, you are no longer paying for the trip. I don't care if you paid full price for it. Everybody's got to pay. You can pay with time. You can pay with money. You can pay with energy. You can pay with opportunity. There's people who take me on trips. There's people, if you saw me in the private plane not too long ago.
Yes, yes.
I got the trip that they took me on to their ski cabin, which is a 7,000, 8,000 square foot ski cabin in Montana, one of the highest in Montana, on the hills, on the mountains.
Yeah.
Private plane, all of the food, everything completely free.
Right.
But you know why it was completely free? Because I already paid for it before the trip. I paid for it in friendship. I paid for it in activities and efforts. I paid for it in doing some work. Nothing is ever free. There's always a price to pay.
So why do we say it's free? I mean,
I don't say free. An awarded trip.
It.
It's free is not awarded. You got to pay a price to get the award. The people who win the gold medal, they get a free gold medal. Is it a free gold medal? Do they pay for the gold medal? Do the Olympians pay for the gold medal? Do the Olympians pay
for the gold medal? No, but they're paying to get to that level to be able to.
So they do all of that to get a free gold medal.
Well, but I wouldn't call it free.
I know you wouldn't. Like that's why your business is, listen, that's why your business is struggling. Because you're not using the leverage to help people understand. You're saying, okay, you got to pay this price and you got to go work out 8 hours a day to get a gold medal for the next 4 years. You want to sign up? And I was like, hell no, I don't want to do that. Do you want to be the best in the world? Yes, I want to do that. What does that take? Working out 8 hours a day. Okay, if I'm going to be the best in the world, I'm going to do that. You've got to switch the way you're presenting it to people. Don't have to. My suggestion would be, is what if you got a trip to Machu Picchu? How soon would you want to go? You're looking for people who want to go on the trip. What other people's marketing messages is that join, get 7 people, and you can get a free trip to here. I don't want to know, because they don't know how simple the work is. They don't know how simple and easy it is to enroll one person in their dreams. So you have.
I guess I'm still not following you, because this
Lola's
is
not
a conversation I would have with a customer.
Well, they're not a customer yet.
Well, maybe you're going to get a free trip to Dubai, because that's in the package.
But that's not free either. Why are you saying that's free? That's not free. How can you say that's free if it's not? If they got to buy something, it's not free.
I usually say it's a gift.
Then why not say if you got a gift? If you can say that about the trip to Dubai, why not say that about the trip to Machu Picchu?
Because they're not paying for the trip to Dubai, literally.
Yes, they are.
The other products
They
in the
are.
package.
They have to be. They have to be. The trip to Dubai is $60. I don't know. They're paying something.
Well, they're purchasing a package with other
That's the price for the trip to Dubai.
So then they get the trip to Dubai.
That's the price.
But they also get the other.
That's okay, but the price is in there.
Yes.
It's got to be in there. If I get a package that has these two things and I buy it and I get these two things, the price was in there somewhere. Now I've got a trip to Machu Picchu. That's a standalone package. Does anybody want to pay to go to Machu Picchu?
Well, I would assume they know if you go on want to go.
If they could go for no fee, would they want to go for no fee?
Yes, I'm sure. But
would you teach them how to go for no fee?
Yes, I can teach them.
Say, listen, I can teach you how to get to Machu Picchu for no fee. My company has just decided they are allowing people to go to Machu Picchu. Now you can pay. I'd rather you not pay. Let me show you how to have OPM, other people's money. That's the business you're in. Is teaching people how to generate income from their side profession, their network marketing business, so that they can go do life at no fee.
Yeah, you still don't have me convinced with that. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't have to convince you. It's why your business seems to struggle a little bit. There's nothing to convince. Isn't it the truth? You're still arguing with me.
No, I just don't see it, I guess.
I know, but why don't
have my head around it?
But why don't you want to wrap your head around it? Because it will change your whole presentation.
Because when I hear free, it means...
I never said free. You never heard me say the word free. You said you have a free trip to Dubai. No. I never said that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I said awarded a trip.
But you said free.
I didn't. I said, well, if you could get an awarded trip to Machu Picchu, would you want to go? And you said, well, it's not
no awarded trips to Machu Picchu.
There is. You tell them that. There's an awarded trip or you can buy it. Which do you want? Or you could do other things with your income. But if you want to go to Machu Picchu, let me show you how to go at no fee.
But they still have to get the package to even get started. See, I guess
I didn't. Oh, my God. So there's a clue. You keep arguing. You keep arguing the obvious.
I just am not getting it. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just being honest.
Well, but you're not
open. Not feeling right.
You're not being open to the idea of shifting the way you're thinking. That's what Wallace D. Waddell says. You are thinking in a certain way.
Yes, you're right.
So how do you think in a new way? If you could show people how to go on every trip they ever wanted to, without having to take money out of their pocket from their income, from their traditional income model, you could show them how to use leveraged income, that it's always paid for. Do you think you'd increase your travel business?
But how do you then tie it into, in order for them to be able to get started, to earn the leveraged income, that they have
our business, do you know anybody who's a part of Costco?
I am.
Okay. Do you pay the annual fee?
Yes.
We have our Costco
Otherwise
fee.
I can't shop there.
Exactly. And you can't shop our travel if you don't have our Costco fee. Are you okay with paying a Costco fee to get things at a special price, at a membership price? That's a simple question. We'll get to part B in a second.
Yes.
Excellent. So now, can you invite people to Costco and get a reward for that?
I don't think so.
No, you can't. But our company is smart enough to say, if you invite people to shop travel with us, you'll get a reward. Is that okay if you get rewarded for other people who want to go travel?
Sure.
And if you share it with enough people, is it okay if your travel is no fee because of the reward that our membership allows you to get?
Yeah.
Awesome. How soon would you like to travel for no fee?
Right away.
Good. Let's get started.
And then, I mean, they have to buy the package. So
Sure, that's their membership fee. We just agreed. They just agreed they want to go travel at membership pricing.
But that's $1,000.
Doesn't matter. Why? You know what a real travel package costs? 10 grand. I sell travel packages for 10 grand. Easy, all day long, 10 grand. You know who buys 10 grand packages? People who spend 200 grand traveling. Traveling, going on river cruises, going on that. They're like, if I can save 30% on my travel for 10 grand and I spend 200,000, that's $25,000 for 10 grand. Hell yeah. Can I get 2 of them?
So I'm just talking to the wrong people.
Well, I wouldn't say you're talking to the people who are giving you a result that you don't like. I'd stop talking to the people who give you results you don't like. It's a lesson. It's only a lesson. There's nothing wrong with it. Lola just showed up. Oh, I'm talking to the wrong people. No, you're talking to people who are giving you a result you don't like. I'd shift that.
Right. I agree with that. They're giving me a result I don't like.
So,
yes,
I
love that. Yes, I can agree with that. Yes.
And so I wouldn't go down that road again. That's called, Jim Rohn would say, don't sign up for that class. If you have the PhD masters and talking to people who aren't giving you the result you like, going back and talking to them isn't going to produce more of the results you like.
No.
Danny, oh my goodness. Daniela Jukic. I got a text from you and I didn't see you on the thing here because you didn't show up. You were farther down the list in the screen. Good morning. So does that help, Selka? I know it's a lot to wrap your arms around. You have a brilliant mind. You are literally what you all experienced with Selka is seeing why she's a good attorney. She wasn't going to let go of that bone. She had a bone. She had a position in legal terms. It's called a position. What's your position on this? She had a position, and the good news is she makes a decision, and it takes a small herd of elephants to switch it, which is a good thing. Make a decision, slow to change. Napoleon Hill said that in the very beginning. So that's a great talent. That's a great skill, Selka. I'm telling you, I'm not being coy or trying to be funny. I'm saying that is a great skill.
I thought maybe you were, but thank you.
My goal is
as being one of these stubborn mules.
Well, you're German, beautiful woman, smart woman. You got all of these things that you have this predisposition to that says, here's a guy getting loud, yelling, and I'm not going to put up with it subconsciously, consciously. The question is that at what point am I allowed, me, Sean, allowed to move into your world to allow the shifts to happen faster so you can have more of what you want? There's still a little hesitance in my capability to get you to where you want to go. Because since we've started our relationship, it's been a constant me challenging thoughts, challenging processes, challenging strategies that you were told were going to work. And then I come along, move it from muscle to mind, and you're like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. And when we get to the point to where it's about to shift the mind completely, resistance comes, and that's okay. It's okay.
It wasn't making sense.
Well,
if things make sense to me, it's much easier for me to shift my mind, I think. But sometimes when I think, it's just not. I think, how am I going to sell that and get the results? Get results that I don't like, because I always think when I talk to people, I should be honest.
So what if we switch this? What if you listened to people and realized how not honest they are to themselves? Your truth doesn't mean I'm going to listen to it. Nobody wants to hear truth.
Yeah, I know.
So why not get them to reveal their own truth to themselves and say, I don't want this anymore. Can you help me shift that? If you're doing all the talking, they ain't buying. They can't buy. They haven't bought it in their own mind because they've already been sold on the idea they're not capable. Travel is too expensive. I got to leave the United States. They got all of these things about travel, about network marketing that aren't valuable. And you're showing them the truth, and right in front of them, they can't see the truth.
So I should ask them more questions.
Learn the phrase, tell me more about that. Ooh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. How's that make you feel? Not very good. You going to do more of that today? I guess. I don't know. I don't have another solution. Are you open to solutions? And this is where, if you hear these words now, it might hit differently. If we're about to go arrive at a place you've never been, that's what a goal is, right? A place you've never been. Wouldn't it be fair to say, at least at the minimum, we're going to have to think a way we would never thought to go to a place we've never been. Thinking a way we think is going to cause us to feel a way we've never felt. And then on top of that, we got to do something we've never done. Think a way we've never thought, feel a way we've never felt, to do a thing we've never done. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. And yet that is the only recipe that will get you out of your pain, out of your comfort zone, into the dream place you are searching. Can we work on that together? Because doing it by yourself has proven for the last 1,000 years does not work. The DIY method does not work. The do-it-yourself method of personal development does not work.
No, it does not. I 100% agree with you. That's why I was searching. And the universe sent me you.
And so now, because, right, like you've heard me say, my mentor would say, at least one of us will always have fun.
I have fun.
I know. And there's sometimes you get a little mad at me. Like, well, oh my gosh.
I don't get mad. I just want to understand.
Right.
Because I know I need to understand for myself. I need to understand to do it. And otherwise I will just ignore it. And I'm not here for that. I need to be open-minded and receive, and at least give it a shot.
Sure. And here's the thing.
How the results will be. Because if I don't even give it a shot, then I will never know. And
so understand that giving it the shot is powerful. Most people never give it a shot. What I would encourage you to become aware of is the state, the frequency, the energy with which you give it a shot will determine whether it works or not. It could be the perfect script, the perfect language, the perfect tool. But giving it in a state of, well, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to do it, will cause it probably not to work. And then we get to say, well, I've tried that, it doesn't work. I've tried everything, it doesn't work. You ever meet somebody who said, I've tried everything?
Yes, all the time. People in my
know damn well they haven't tried everything.
No, I know that.
So my phrase is, have you tried it with an egg in your pocket? The hell are you talking about?
I love
So you haven't tried it with an egg in your pocket? No, then you have not tried everything, because that would be one of the everything to try, right? Well, that'd be stupid. Okay, so you think the things you're not used to trying are stupid. I get it. How's that working for you? And then one day here on the ranch, I literally, there's a photo of me on Facebook somewhere. I had an egg in my pocket and I was like, what the hell? Did I cut myself? I could feel this warmth. And I looked down and my whole pocket is that dark blue, when dungarees, Levi's get wet.
Oh my
The
God.
hell is in my pocket? There was literally an egg in my pocket and I broke it. I went to the chicken coop, put an egg in my pocket, and didn't forgot I had an egg in my pocket. So I literally got to say, I tried that with an egg in my pocket. And everybody who knows me kind of laughed. Those who didn't go, he's nuts. I don't know what the hell that means. So there you go. Thank you, Selka.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Thank you.
You are welcome, welcome, welcome. Danny, say good morning. Just say good morning. I'd love to hear your voice if you can.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I was thinking of you so hard yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I wonder why. How are you?
I'm outstanding.
Other than fantastic. Yeah, I figured.
Good to hear your voice.
It's good to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything to share or just checking in? Because you know me.
Um, I think I came in at an interesting part of the morning call.
Okay,
I
cool.
kind of giggled.
You've never been there before.
Never. Uh-uh. I think every single one of us has been there.
Yeah.
And it's okay because, fear is a interesting factor that plays in our life. And that's that, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, is that when I was fearful, I couldn't understand, or I'm sorry, I don't know her name.
Salka.
Zelka. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And it wasn't until I let fear go of coulda, woulda, shoulda, or what's going to happen. What if it doesn't work? Kind of stops you dead in your tracks. And then you go from just being stuck. And then Sean comes in and kicks you straight in your behind of trying to understand why he's telling you that it's free or it's not free. We all pay some type of price for the things that we learn, for the things that we go through, for the things that we build in our business. And I love how he reminds us it's mostly paid with our time, our effort, and our energy. Yes, we have compensation for all of those things with money, but without us putting the time and energy and the wording of how to get people to understand what you're actually saying to them. Because what's the saying? You can say
The right thing to the right.
Yep.
Yeah, you can
What
never
is it?
say the right thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right person.
Yes. So you kind of just gotta let go and go for it. And it is what it is. Because you can always come back to where you're at.
And there's lessons. And there's
Oh,
lessons that we love to learn and lessons we'd rather not remember.
yeah. I don't know if there's a big enough emoji somewhere around here to click to like that statement. But sometimes lessons are beautiful. I mean, they're beautiful all the time. Sometimes they're just a little painful.
That's what gratitude teaches us.
You know what? I don't even want to hear it right now, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. Yeah.
I'm going to put my glasses on. You'd never hit a man in glasses, would you?
No, never. That little word, that ginormous word.
Gratitude.
Yep. Because Sean, all those years seemed like I never did a day. That's why when you said the DIY method doesn't work, not only does it not work,
Well,
You end up-
it definitely produces the results we don't want more often than not.
Oh, yeah, it sure
It
does.
performs perfectly, which is why
It
most
does
people,
its job.
it does exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
Its teachings, and we just keep deciding to take second grade over and over and over.
Yeah, it seems to be a little painful, but
Oh my God, I've been here before. Mm-hmm.
right.
Pay attention to where you get off the bus. When I was little in kindergarten, I forget what it was. The bus driver opened the door to my house and I didn't get off or something, and I wound up going all the way to the bus depot. I never got off the bus, and the bus driver went, "Holy God, what are you doing on the bus?" Well, I didn't see my house. A lot of times we don't see our success. We never get off the bus of pain.
Mm-mm.
And my mom was drinking, so she had to come get me, and they didn't want to leave. And yeah. Probably why I didn't get off the bus, because mom was drinking. Like, this is better. At least I'm with my friends, until everybody kept getting off the bus. I didn't understand how a bus worked.
Nope.
Nope.
Great analogy.
Never forget. And that was 54 years ago. Remember it like it was yesterday. And I've only thought of it a handful of times consciously. So yeah, we got to choose to get off the bus.
Yeah, my train has derailed. So just that's as simple as I can put it. There was no getting off. It just derailed. But it's okay.
And we've had to
It's
evacuate 100 square miles.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody around. I'm off. I got derailed. And there ain't nobody here. Where the hell's emergency services? They even left.
Yep. It's scary. What we can do to ourselves.
Mm.
It is scary is not even the word that I would like to use in that sentence. It's diabolical.
Horrifying, yeah.
Yeah. Because whew.
And if that exists, what also exists in the same breath?
Oh, absolutely.
Pure bliss.
Absolutely. So I do have to tell you, responsibility, right?
Mm.
Our ability to respond.
Mm.
If that hasn't been my anthem, I don't know what worked, because that's about the only thing that repeated inside my head. It's your responsibility. And right after, I'm like, it's your ability to respond. You don't have to react. And do you know how hard it is not to react?
No. I thought just because we said it, it just automatically engages and transforms everything. Doesn't do that when you say it once?
No.
Okay.
It's like a repetitive thing. And kudos to you and Michelle, though. I've had some great mentors, because there are things that, I practiced on a daily basis that I was able to just pull out of my pocket without having to think about it. That toolbox came in handy so many times where I would have literally burnt my house down, light a match, and walk away. And I'm not even using that as a metaphor. But I'm very grateful for the both of you. Very, very grateful to have been in my life for such a long time, to learn from you guys, because these lemons are a little sour. A little bit of sugar in my lemonade. But no matter, here's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the past couple months. No matter how long you do something, no matter how long you study, it does not matter what you do. If it's not a daily practice. Throw it out the window because it won't work. It will not work. Uh, Even if you're like, I've been doing this for 10 years. Stop for a month and see how well that works for you. You might have some, what was it, residual blessings or residual fuel that you have accumulated. 4 years got me 20 days. Isn't that crazy?
Hmm.
What are you looking up? I know
Uh,
you're looking something up.
Science of Getting Rich is what we're reading.
Oh.
We were.
Yay.
There's an exact science.
Yeah.
And I was looking for the part where it said one thought when you move it from the creative plane to the competitive plane, you can lose all of the things that you had from the creative plane.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it will take you out. Thoughts are very fascinating.
Yep.
And boy, can you manifest.
From energy.
Oh, my Lanta. Can you manifest things when you're in a dark place? They seem to just immediately. They just fester immediately and just show up with a bunch more chaos. But it's fun because I got to experience that even in the darkness of the manifesting the chaos, you have the opposite. Just as fast as the chaos can show up, so can bliss. Is we don't
And it
give
doesn't
enough.
make any logical sense that bliss would show up in the middle of chaos.
Oh, but it does. But it does. And one of a little vulnerable moment, I was sitting on my couch. Literally, I don't think I've cried like this in probably, I don't even know how long, in years. But I was sobbing. And in that moment, I got a phone call about a job offer.
A
I just was,
wildly unique, very odd
yes,
job offer.
yeah, yes, it is.
Odder than you couldn't even have imagined that job offer.
No, because the lady that I spoke to, that same lady I spoke to months ago, and she's like, "Well, not at this time." Da 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 da. And I never heard back from her. I was like, "All right, I just crossed it off." I was like, "It is what it is. I'm just gonna move on, try to find something else." But I kept hitting blocks. No matter where I applied, I was either underqualified, overqualified, or it just didn't hear back from them. And in that moment of just despair, is the best word.
Total release.
My phone rang and I was like, I don't even know if I should answer because I didn't know who was calling. And and I'm like, do I even answer? Because I'm a hot mess right now. How do I even get myself to put back together and even sound like I'm not? I didn't just have this huge cry session. So I answer and she's like, this lady is like, hi, is this Daniela? And I'm like, yeah. And she's a Croatian lady. I'm like, yeah, this is her. She's like, oh, do you have a job? I was like, no. She's like, oh, do you want one? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, can you start Thursday? I was like, yes. I'm like, absolutely. I will meet you Thursday. And it pays more than any job that I've applied for. It is actually almost double than any job that I've applied for.
And it came because
I let go. Can't control what you can't control. I can only control what's inside my circle, my little bubble.
And in doing that, the universe had more than you asked for.
Yep.
I think that's
Very
always
good.
available.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it's definitely available. It's the reminder. You know, sometimes I'd be on the calls. I'm like, oh my God, do you know how many times are you gonna repeat this?
So here's a question. I have a very dear friend of mine who had done this book, The Magic. They would offer a suggestion. How have you done how many blessings have you done on this job?
10.
Cool. I probably do some more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and let the ripple effect of that, now that it's already established and you absolutely are deserving of it, say, I dare you to show me more.
Mm.
Surprise me with more. You surprised me with this, and you saw I was ready to receive the love.
Mm.
Let me more. Tell me more. Are you ready for the love?
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to just have its own definition every single time you say it.
Wouldn't it have sucked if I came on here and was talking about something totally different?
Yeah.
What is he talking about now? He's never talked about this stuff. He's trying
Now I
something
know.
new.
Yeah, let's not try something new.
Until we get the what works working, we don't need to try anything new.
No, we sure don't. We sure don't. But I was glad that you were on here. So thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for not stopping your calls.
Yeah, it's over 2,000.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
2000. I haven't tracked since the 2000, so I have to go back and track. It's probably 2050. On the way
Wow.
to 3,000.
That's amazing, Sean.
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Proud of you too.
You're
So
welcome.
glad you're here.
Thank you. So glad to be
Oh,
here.
by the way, we talk about you a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's probably why I think about you guys a lot.
I know Diane always has something very interesting to say about you.
Oh, I bet she does. Oh.
And I usually have to defend you, so you know.
Oh, yes. I can't even imagine.
You're always this is one of those places, your reputation, people say nice things about you in rooms you're not in.
And I'm very grateful for that. Because there are rooms, you know, that we're not.
Not always thought of in the same energy.
Yeah.
Missed you, girl. Love you.
I love you too. I've missed you guys. But thanks, Sean. I appreciate
Very cool. Are you open to catch up later today?
I can after 3. I'm
Okay.
headed to go have a fantastic day with my 95-year-old lady.
That's awesome.
She's so awesome. And she's from England, Sean.
Oh.
And she's got an English accent. So I am like in cloud 9 with this lady.
Does she have relatives?
Uh-huh.
You might record some of them for them later on.
Yeah. Yes, I will take that.
Right. Just thought.
Yeah. I
And you could say,
that.
listen, can you teach my kids? I know they're not here, but can you teach my kids some of these lessons of life? Can I record it for them to listen?
Yeah. I can definitely do that.
Tell her you got to brag on her on a call this morning.
That I will.
Love it.
That is
Love
on
you.
my to-do list. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for showing up. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous?